The one I'm doing right now is, I'll say this, it's going to be the killer of maybe the most popular game in the world right now.
Really?
And it's gonna dethrone that game. That's our goal. And I can't tell you what it is, and I can't tell you who it's with. So I leave that. You can go speculate on that.
E aí pessoal, tudo bem com vocês? Sunny Play aqui outra vez e galera, finalmente iniciando uma nova temporada de entrevistas aqui no canal Sunny Play. Pra quem já vem acompanhando o nosso trabalho sabe que em 2023 tivemos excelentes entrevistas aqui no nosso canal, tanto com os atores do GTA V, Shaw Fontino, Ned Luke e o Slink Johnson, tanto quanto a brilhante entrevista com Brian Zampella, revelando se ele tava ou não no GTA 6. E galera, atendendo a pedido de vocês, não tem forma melhor de começar a nossa nova temporada como entrevistando alguém que trabalhou na Rockstar Games. E o entrevistado de hoje foi não só diretor criativo, mas como cinematográfico dos jogos mais brilhantes da Rockstar, como Max Payne 3, GTA V e o Red Dead Redemption 2. É isso mesmo, rapaziada. O entrevistado de hoje é nada mais nada menos do que o Joey Rubino, com um bate-papo exclusivo pela primeira vez no Brasil, revelando diversos detalhes dos bastidores dos jogos mais icônicos da Rockstar. E o melhor de tudo, rapaziada, essa entrevista aqui, assim como alguns vídeos do canal, já estão disponíveis também como podcast no Spotify e nas mais diversas plataformas. Então agora você também vai poder curtir o melhor do conteúdo do canal Sunny Play enquanto dirige, treina ou faz as atividades de casa. E só lembrando também, rapaziada, que após a estreia esse vídeo aqui vai estar disponível para vocês com dublagem em português e nos mais diversos idiomas. Sendo assim, se você tem dificuldade aí de entender a entrevista em inglês, você vai poder ver tudo traduzido da melhor forma para vocês. Mas enfim, acabou os recados, deixa de enrolação, vamos para a entrevista com o Joey Rubino. So guys, we are here with the creative director, cinematic director by Xbox, Amazon, Rockstar, NetEasy, Ubisoft, and a lot of projects. He's owner of the Grand Diamante Tequila and the CEO of Blast Crew. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Rubino! Thank you so much, bro. Keeping blasting. So we are blasting here now, right?
Oh, we're blasting. The blasting will never stop from here.
Never stop. Blasting everywhere.
We're blasting on everything.
Joey.
Actually, we just had a great meeting about Blast Crew. We are doing incredible stuff. So I look forward to talking about that.
And we have many members of Blast Crew in Brazil, you know?
Yes. Yeah,
That's
you guys
cool.
love it out there.
Yeah, we love. I'm at the fans group on Instagram and I saw many posts of the community and there I saw there are many Brazilians there too. So
yeah, we love our Brazilians. I love Brazil. I've been to Brazil 3 times.
Really?
I've been to São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro twice, and Barra da Tijuca.
Sim, Barra da Tijuca.
Leblon, all the neighborhoods. Oh, I even went to what's the favela?
Rocinha?
Rocinha up in the top. I took a motorbike.
So
and I drove
cool,
all
bro.
the way up.
Oh my God, you have the full experience here in Brazil.
Yeah, man. I had a Yankee hat on. They were like, Derek Jeter. I was like, no, stop who I am. Man, those little favelados, man, they're crazy, man, but they loved me. We were hanging out. They were showing me some stuff. They didn't rob me. It was cool.
Okay.
You know, that was cool, man. Brazil's probably some of the best culture, food, and people mixed together. Yeah. It's got such a good vibe and a good vibration, and you know, there's just the people. I absolutely love the people. Like honestly, to all your Brazilian fans, like us, especially growing up in New York, there's a lot of Brazilians now, and we love y'all, especially me. I love y'all. So keep doing what y'all doing. You guys, your stock is going up. Brazil's going to be, and will continue to be a great country. I can't wait to go back soon.
Please, and when you come back to Brazil, please tell me. It will be an honor to meet you personally.
Yeah.
So let's do something together, all right?
Absolutely.
And so, Joey, we have to talk at the beginning because you do some things, you do many projects, and I want that the public know a little more about your job, right? So I know that you're director, you work with audiovisual. So how did you start your passion for the audiovisual? Because I know that everybody that work on this area love this so much because it's hard. It's a tough job, right?
Yeah, it's a really hard job, but it's a very rewarding job. I didn't fall into it, that's for sure. You have to have a really strong passion for storytelling, technology, character, environment. It's all connected, and just the technical understanding behind how we do all those things. It's one thing to be a storyteller. It's another thing to be a storyteller in games specifically. I'm both. So my role is really as a creative director and a cinematic director and a leader at the studio level, all combined. That's kind of what I do. And I'm very blessed, someone's looking out for me. I didn't start here. You had to earn your way up. When I was coming up, there really wasn't anybody that would shepherd you and teach you things. Now you have a lot of resources, especially online, and a lot of people like myself that bring people in and really show them the way and the path and help them avoid kind of the hurdles and the obstacles that just slow down your career path. And so people coming up today have a really great opportunity to kind of fast track that learning curve that I had to go through the hard way, and a lot of the people in my industry. I've been doing this. I've been a filmmaker since I'm 17. I moved out of New York into Chicago when I was 17, and I was a filmmaker at that point. I started submitting films into film festivals and actually started my own production company back in Chicago. And that's kind of it's kind of where it didn't start in Chicago. It started in New York, but it all kind of came together in Chicago. That's where I started to really train my eye. I went to Columbia, and this is a really funny story. I showed my first film to my professor, right? And he pulled me aside and he said, he goes, "How long have you been doing this?" And I said, "Oh, I just started." He goes, "I can't show this to the other kids." I'm like, "Why not?" And he goes, "This is amazing. It's too good. They're gonna get sad." And I'm like, "Oh, stop! You're messing with me," And from that point on, Richard Boyd, who was a filmmaker in Chicago, he kind of shepherded me and showed me the way. And they put me into a program at Columbia where I was basically I didn't get special treatment, but I guess maybe you could say they wanted to make sure that I was doing it the right way.
Right. They saw potential on you.
They saw potential, but what they didn't know is that I really wanted to take all of that into games.
Right.
So that from day one, I said, this world can work with gaming. But but at Sandy Play, when I was in college, there was no cinematic games.
Yeah, that's the point, because today it's possible that some newbie saw the games and mix the audiovisual to the video game, because it's true right now. But we're talking about how long years? How time ago?
I started all this in 2005.
Oh my God.
So
20 years. About
20 years. Yeah.
That's so
crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
You got the vision, bro. That's cool.
Yeah, but it's not just about vision. It's about having good support around you, know, and it's also about trying things and failing. I talk to a lot of colleges now. I go around the world. I do things. I don't publicize a lot of it. I try to, people keep telling me, "Hey, Joe, put that stuff out." So you've all have probably, maybe you have noticed, but the last year or year and a half, I'm trying to share more of what's going on in my life, because it really is GTA is like my life, kind of. I have a crazy life. I can't even say half the shit. I've seen it all, man. But
I imagine,
not to say GTA is modeled after my life at all, not at all, but. Some of us, when I was originally at Rockstar, we're actual rock stars, if you know what I mean. And I was one of those. I still am. Don't get it.
You guys, my heroes, bro.
Yeah, those guys are awesome. So I'm trying to put more stuff out. My day-to-day is crazy, dude. I have so many projects. I got a couple companies. I'm an advisor of a lot of other companies. One of them is right here. We can talk about that later.
All right.
But I got so many cool things going on. But man, the journey to where I am was not easy. It was actually very difficult. It's not for the faint at heart. For every success I had 15 failures, so For all the good things you see, trust me, I had to go through hell and back. I'm grateful for that because it made me into who I am today.
Yeah.
I am an animal at this. I'm a monster now.
Yeah.
You know, I am probably, you know, I'm probably one of the best in the world at what I do in my niche. And I'm not saying that to put myself on a pedestal. It's because it's just how it is.
Yeah, that's true. We know.
It's just true. You know,
your results talk more than the words, right?
Yeah. And here's one thing, Saturday Play. I don't ever talk about myself. The only time I do shit like this is when a guy like you wants to ask me this stuff. Right. I don't go out. It's all about my team. You know, I always give a true leader, somebody that's really good at this, they don't take credit. You know, they give credit.
All right.
And the real truth of the matter is I can only lead groups and teams that do awesome shit. You know, I can come up with some ideas, they fill in the blanks, they make it happen, and I'm course correcting. That's kind of where I'm at now. But like that, the credit goes to those people. The credit goes to the people around me. The people that are in the weeds. When I was in the weeds too, you know, I'm sure back then they would say the same. My leads would say that about me and about my teams. But yeah, man.
But I think it's cool that you talk about it because many subscribers that saw us right now see you like an example, you know, and the most people just saw the success but don't know about the failures. And now you are talking about that. We'll show to the public that is possible. You don't have You don't need to have fear of the failures or fear to error. You just have to go and make this happen because every pass that you do, every moment, you just become better, you know, at the process.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, you know, and I would say you want to embrace fail fast and learn from those failures, and those become super weapons. You know, that becomes ammunition in your case of tools and weapons that you can reach back as experience, because failure teaches you one thing: how not to do something. Yeah. Right? And that is an important lesson. Or falling short, you know, is an equally important lesson. You can do everything right, but still fall short. Yeah. So it's like, okay, maybe we change the recipe one little thing, and all of a sudden you got a recipe for success. And that's really what my world is. You know, it's a crazy world. It's technology and entertainment mixed into one. You know, it is the largest of all entertainment platforms. You know, nothing is bigger than, you know, we're almost 5 or 6 times, maybe more than Hollywood. We've been eating Hollywood's lunch, and I'll tell you this right now: Hollywood comes up to guys like us and my teams and me now, and they say, "Hey, we're trying to learn from you guys. Like, what should we do?" And look at The Last of Us, look at Fallout, look at all this stuff, and it's going to continue to do this.
This is
crazy. And that's actually part of Blast Crew. Blast Crew is kind of the culmination of kind of those two things.
This is perfect. There's a great point, because we'll talk later about other projects that you work on, but bro, you deserve an Oscar, right? Because the things that you do, the projects that you part of, is just insane, you know. And what is your first job in the gaming area?
My first day, I got hired at Rockstar. I think there was like 30 people that applied, and they wanted somebody that had real life experience, you know.
So Rockstar is your first job at this area, at the game area?
I mean, I was a filmmaker. I won a bunch of awards, and I was doing commercials around the country, flying to different places around the world, doing commercials at a very young age. I was probably too young to be doing that, but I was very passionate, and I was good at it. And so a lot of studios production companies gave me an opportunity, but I didn't want to do commercials. Basically, what I did was I used other people's money and budgets to train myself. Cool. And that all led to Rockstar Games, which hired me, and I came in as a technician and a camera artist from the beginning, and basically shadowing every single person that was doing all of the production, you know, and then doing all of the camera work and the editing and the shooting shooting literally live. You know, and I became very close to a lot of the talent that we would bring in, and a lot of the guys that I think you've talked to some of the guys on some of those projects. But yeah, that was my first day. I broke into the studio. because I didn't want to be late. Yeah, Rockstar was in a place called Glen Cove in New York, and it was an area, but there's no signs. You know, like you don't see like a Rockstar sign,
right?
You know, because they don't want people to know that they're making all these amazing games, because the fans are fucking crazy, right?
Yeah,
show up.
I know.
And so I showed up my first day, and I'm like, yo, where is this place? I'm like, what is this? And I'm walking around. I asked some like old, like 100-year-old security guard in some area. I was like, hey, look, I'm here for the job. I'm here for the Rockstar job. They were like, he's like, you're a rock star?
Just be clear. We're talking about when this happened each year.
This is like 2010 or something.
All right.
I think.
All right.
This is a long time ago. It was over 15 years ago now, coming up on 15 years.
Yeah.
And so I was worried about being late. So I found a door, and I kind of like shimmied the door and broke into it. And I walked on the stage, and I was like, hey, what's going on, guys? And they were like, who the fuck are you? Like, how'd you get in here? So that's kind of how I started my journey
crazy, man.
At Rockstar. Yeah.
And when you discovered this audition, sorry, is on newspaper, on the internet?
No. I was invited, actually. I didn't apply for it. I was actually invited by, I think, he's actually at Lucas. He's on Star Wars, but a gentleman by the name of Ted O'Brien.
Right.
Who's a friend of mine now, but he's actually not right down the block at Star Wars. I think it's he's on Stagecraft, which is the main stage in the team at Lucas that's doing all of the Star Wars shows.
Yeah, I know. Lucasfilms.
Yeah. So that he kind of found me, and I interviewed a couple of times, and they hired me over everyone else. So I was very blessed. I thought it was a really great opportunity. And my first day, just to put in perspective, my first day was the last day of Red Dead #1, which was when they were doing all of the zombie. It was a DLC called Undead
Nightmare, right?
Yeah, that was my first day. So my first day when I walked in, they were doing all the zombie stuff, and I was like, oh man, what's going on? Like, you guys are doing zombies? Like, I didn't even know I was doing that. But I actually didn't work on that. I actually started working on Max Payne 3 right away, and then really Max Payne 3 and GTA overlap was happening. And then I was doing basically GTA, Max Payne 3, and RDR 2 all
the same time.
Close. Not exactly at the same time, but extremely close together. Like, it's crazy. Like, you know how long these games take. So there was overlap on Max Payne and GTA, and then there was overlap on GTA and Red Dead 2. And then actually a bunch of projects that didn't really come out, but were kind of harvested. Like I don't know if I could talk about. I probably could talk about it, but a lot of the team went to do RDR 2 right away, and I kind of took on this other project that was a standalone DLC for GTA that never came out, and it was kick-ass.
We heard about.
Yeah, I don't think I could talk about it, but I don't know. Maybe I can.
Ned Luke talked in the interview a little about, and recently we have a code of GTA 5 leaked, and that reveal a lot of stuff about these DLCs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah, I don't keep up with any of that shit. I don't even know.
And Steven Ogg too, they talked about on interview that happened in the Sony Pass that they recorded the DLC. So I think this is crazy, bro. You work actively on this DLC?
Yeah, that was kind of like my thing. So I was like one of the main editors, camera artists, and doing a lot of the second unit, like on stage stuff. And part, like, we split our teams into two. So I stayed on GTA Online, and then this DLC, which Steven Ogg was a very important part of. And then some of the team overlapped and went to RDR 2 early on. And then we just kind of did this, because when that game got shelved, we spent so much money, and it was a lot of that stuff though did end up making it, I believe, into like later iterations of GTA Online, I think. But so, like, it's not like they wasted it. It was really, really good. But you know what happened was, dude, is like when GTA came out, GTA Online, it was so much of a cash cow, and people were loving it so much that it was hard to make a argument that a standalone DLC would outcompete that. I think looking back now, I would say that you could probably do both. But that was a business decision that they made, and I was a little upset about that. And actually was a lot of reason for me being a little sour at that time, because I was like, yo, what the fuck, guys? This shit's awesome. Let's keep going. Let's finish this shit. And they,
so at this point, you guys don't finish the DLC, right?
Not finish. That specific DLC. Okay. I don't think so. We went about probably halfway through it, and then I think we put a pause on it because GTA Online was just so people were going crazy. And then I was also doing GTA Online at that time, and I was also doing Red Dead 2. We all were. But it was, it depended on, look, like we worked a lot, man. Like for 6 or 7 years, I was working almost 365 days a year with our team, and
right.
The thing about my team was we were the first line of defense for really story and mocap and editing. And a lot of the teams around us would kind of develop from that, right? So
right.
Our office was next to Sam Hauser, the boss man. Like we were the next office over in a secure part of Rockstar, New York City. So when you had a key pass to go into our building, you had to go through 3 layers of security, and then you had to go to an additional layer of security to get into our office. And it was with blinds and even more top secret because we were always out ahead basically of the entire company.
Bro, and this is crazy. It's like a FIB thing or something like that,
I'll tell you something. All of them are like this. Microsoft is like this, Ubisoft, Amazon's crazy. The security protocols of these projects, because they're you're talking about billions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
You have to be really careful. You gotta, they have to do their due diligence. It's very important to have that security. And like, once you let your guard down, shit gets fucked up. I don't know about the leaks and everything. I never even seen it. But when I heard about it, I was upset and I felt bad for my friends that are at Rockstar, because you work so hard. You want to release things on your own and say, hey, this is what you all been waiting for. I'm proud to finally release it.
Yeah.
When something comes out and it's not ready and you're like, what the hell? This is like if I showed you a car that was halfway painted, you go, what the hell is this thing? Like, why does it look so stupid? Like, it's not fair because I'm not ready to show it, and that's why the leaks and all that. And this is a product of the world we live in, and it's fucked up.
Yeah.
But like, it really sucks for the developers. I've been on that side of it. I've had projects I worked on that came out early, and it's terrible, man. It really hurts the morale of the team, because you're working so hard for that.
I imagine, bro. It's sad for us too, the fans, because I made videos about GTA about 10 years, 1 year before the GTA 5 launch. I already made videos about the leaks, the magazines posts about the game, I'm covering all this. And when we received the first informations about this story mode DLC, we going crazy, There the Mount Chiliad mystery, a lot of things that point that we will have a story mode DLC. So when the years going through and we saw that just don't happen, it's so sad for us, And now, and now with the leaks about this story mode, we saw how many cool things we lost as a fan, as a player, So this is sad for us. I imagine for you and your team that work on it, So I feel sorry about that, bro.
Yeah, don't feel sorry. I think everything needs to happen for a reason, and you can always go back and make. Here's the cool thing about, people don't realize this. A lot of people say, like, to artists or musicians, hey, you're only as good as your last film or your last game or your last album or your last whatever. That's not true.
Yeah.
You're only as good as your best. So you have the capacity to go and do great things equally or better than the greatest thing you've ever done.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's waves, right? Like, we live in a world of frequencies and waves and patterns, right?
Yeah.
So like, you're going to put out great shit, and you're going to make shit that sometimes you got to learn from.
Yeah.
And even the biggest, baddest studios, like, a Naughty Dog or even a Rockstar, they're going to have those moments of clarity where they take back and they go, you know what, maybe this isn't ready for the public. Maybe we're going to take what we learned and that failure and move the learnings and the resources into something better.
Yeah.
And, there's no going back on it. There's no what if. You can't live in a world of what ifs in this world. You got to live on conviction. The thing is, with what we do in tech, creative, products, brands, all of it. Good projects and leaders make a decision and stick by it. And if it's not the right decision, they course correct very quickly. And you go, you know what? I take ownership. That wasn't the best thing. Phew, let's pivot really quick and let's continue to go. Let's not turn around.
Yeah.
Let's continue to go forward, right? And that's our world.
Yeah, that's why, because the GTA 5 is one of the most is the top 3 best sellers gamers in the world, you know. The game, the GTA 5 earn more than the cinema industry, more than all the best sellers movies, you know. Avatar. Enfim, sorry. I just talk Portuguese. Avatar.
Caralho,
pô!
I know my words, okay?
Yeah, bro.
Português. Wait. Eu falo português pouco.
Muito bom.
But that's it.
That's very impressive, bro.
Thank you.
That's
Spent a lot of time down there. Spent a lot of time. There's so
back to Brazil,
bundas.
man. Yeah.
Why so many bundas everywhere? What's with the bundas?
Because that's our DNA here in Brazil, you know? The Womas are the best, man. So, I put here on my questions that you have come to Brazil, so that you just answer this. And what's the best thing that you saw here in Brazil that you remember? Something that is different from your culture here in the USA.
Okay, I'll tell you something that was really cool. In Rio de Janeiro, there are kiosks on the beach.
Yeah.
Like every mile. And I didn't realize that your culture almost is that's a very important part of the beach culture.
Yeah.
And it's a party and you get food and everybody's drinking beer. And I was like, I want to hang out here all day. And the acai, and it was every mile. And I thought that was really cool, man. That was such a cool thing. And then, what was another thing? I was surprised. Oh, the chocolate pizza.
Chocolate pizza?
Chocolate pizza.
That's perfect.
Yeah. The dessert chocolate pizza. I was like, this is amazing. I love that. The food in general was awesome.
Yeah.
I like Leblon area because it's very nice and it was cool and affluent. And then the nightclubs were crazy, man. That shit was crazy. I saw some crazy stuff going on in those nightclubs.
And what do you think about São Paulo when you come here?
São Paulo is more I don't love it as much, but I appreciated it. It's very more built up and very more you're in New York City, you know. A lot of helicopters I noticed everywhere. I was like, it's a lot of helicopters out here.
You know that Brazil have the major number of helicopters in the world flying is in São Paulo, you know?
Really?
That's crazy.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think I remember something about when we were doing Max Payne, because that was my first game, Max Payne 3.
When you come to Brazil, is for the project or no?
I think I went to Brazil when we finished Max Payne, or I think it was right when we finished or something. I don't remember actually. I don't remember. It was right around when it was releasing, but they had already done right when I started was right when they did the trip to Brazil.
Right.
And then they were doing a lot of the voiceovers in LA. So,
okay. So you meet Brazilians at this point?
Oh yeah, we flew in Brazilians from Brazil and all the New York Brazilians, and a lot of the talent was Brazilian or Portuguese on stage. When we shot for a year or 2 years, I don't even remember, two years straight. It was crazy, man. That was also probably the first game that we're super proud of, and I'm super proud of, where we built a very new type of virtual camera. Yeah. And it was probably the first game, and I don't think even Rockstar promotes this, but I do because I don't give a fuck. It's the first game we shot fully with a person. What I mean is a camera man, like a cinematographer, me, literally shot the whole thing on my shoulder with some of the other guys on my team. And we all had different cameras, you could call it, and we would shoot together on at the same time, and then we would bring that information, that data, that virtual camera data, into Motion Builder and then in the engine, and we would chop it up and put it together. And we think that's the first time that a game was fully shot that way.
That's the turning point, right?
I think so. At Rockstar, yeah, for sure, it was. Yeah.
And that's your first time worked with this technology?
Yeah, it's funny, my first day when I started doing cameras and editing and some of that stuff, they handed me a green block of wood.
Right.
And it was just a piece of wood. There was nothing in it, right? And it had a couple of sensors on it. We call it markers. And these markers would basically talk to the real-time data so that it would transfer that data into the virtually, right? Software. There was no lens on it. There was no viewfinder, nothing. And they basically said, all right, go shoot Max Payne with this piece of wood. And I was like, what? And then me and the other guys were like, the fuck how are we going to do this? And that point on is when I kind of went rogue. Like, I completely went rogue at Rockstar for many years. And I just was like, fuck y'all, I'm trying to fix this shit. And they let me do it, sometimes reluctantly. But I started up this mission of like building out this Rockstar toolbox, cinematic toolbox, and also helping build out some of the virtual cameras and this and that. And by the way, I'm not the only person. This was a group of very, very talented, awesome guys and gals. And we from that point on, we built a comprehensive, physically based system of tools. And that went on to go make GTA 5, GTA Online, Red Dead 2, and probably spawned the tools that are making the games right now. That all started right there. That started with us, A lot of those guys aren't there anymore. A lot of us went separate ways, and we went to go do awesome stuff in other studios. But that was like SEAL Team 6, like super soldiers, super creative people, super technical people coming together and building kind of the core foundational cinematics tool set. And it started right there.
Do you have idea that in the future, when the new professionals will study this area, they will study this technology that you and your team develop, That's I think that's kind of things put a mark on the story, of the game development. So that's great, man. Congratulations.
Dude, thank you. And check this out. And I don't take the credit. All the credit goes to the people that we did. It's a group effort, I'm just a piece of the puzzle that was maybe an important piece, but there were a lot of important pieces. And it is important to acknowledge that no individual can do anything on their own.
I know. But I know that too, your work is important too, Every piece is important. Nah.
Yeah, so check this out. A friend of mine named Kevin Wong, he was working with James Cameron on Avatar 1 at the time that we were doing Max Payne and GTA. And Avatar 2. And we know now that the first virtual cameras was actually them and us. We were the first two.
At the same time.
We were at the same time. And we were we didn't know, but we were developing trying to solve the same problems together without knowing it. And I know this for a fact because Kevin, my friend, showed me behind the scenes of that stuff, and I showed him behind the scenes of my stuff, which I can't show you. And we were like, see, look at oh wow. He was like, we were doing the same thing, which was really, really cool, man.
This is crazy, bro.
Yeah. Crazy world. We that's when it started. The convergence of film and Hollywood and the game universe started right there. That it was like 2009 and 2010, 11. It all was born right there.
Yeah.
And then it went like, and here's where we are. It did this, boom, and that's now, right? Crazy. And I got to be a passenger and also a driver of that, which is so cool.
Yeah, and now the next movies that will be made, all of them maybe will use this technology. We are not just talking about the VFX movies like Avatar that use, all the characterization is virtual, but all the movies, the realistic ones too, now use this technology. That's crazy. So this is the future, the present and the future, And
that's why this right here, this brand that I'm a shareholder of, and I'm on the board of advisors, along with some of the most impactful people in all of entertainment. We're doing the idea of technology and entertainment and mocap in games in Hollywood from back then what we're doing now is like night and day. I mean, we're doing stuff even crazier than any game company is even thinking about right now. And so that's what's like, it almost is full circle for me, because we're doing stuff secretly that is going to really be impactful and really kind of change pipelines for games and film completely.
This is your project?
This is on some of my projects. Yep. And it's also a company, you know, it's a new company in Israel and in LA. We have we actually have a bunch of stages that are top secret, but we basically are teaching now a neural network, which is basically a supercomputer AI to do a lot of that stuff for us. We have to tell it what to do and we teach it, but it does what we want it to do. And it can do things that are really incredible. So be on the lookout for that, and shout out to
how can we find these on the internet?
If you go to Yoom, YOOM, you should be able to find it. I don't know the website offhand.
We will put on the video editing. We will put the character right there, right?
Yeah, I'll text it to you after this so you have it. Okay.
Perfect. So when at this point, when you worked on GTA 5, Red Dead, and Max Payne, when you saw that you being part of a big thing, you know, a big project, you don't feel scared, because I think there is so many responsibility, you know?
Yeah, you know, you're kind of living in the moment. And you really, the thing is with the games, the stuff that comes out, we worked on that stuff so long ago. So we're focused on the next goal, you know, and the next release or the next trailer or the next whatever it is. And so you like your mind is in the present, and the present for you is not the thing that's coming out. You know, right. We're already on the next project or the project after that. So you try to live in the moment, but you also, the stress that we feel as makers and as game makers, and this is true for now and then, is really, what's our deliverable? What's our milestone? What do we need to get done right now? And that's kind of how it's, unfortunately, we're kind of stuck in that mind frame, because there's so much work and it's so over encompassing, and there's so many parts of the pipeline that people touch. You got to get your stuff done and looking good and ready for the next person. And so you're really worried about, hey, I got to get this done in time so that the pipeline can keep going. And so but what was good about, because you guys love GTA so much, but yeah. what was cool about GTA 5, when it did come out, that was when it finally hit us. The entire time we were making GTA 5 and GTA Online, we knew that we were making something incredible, right? We understood that. We understood the gravity of it, but we didn't really feel it until the launch day, when the entire world and New York City, which I was in New York City, was out online all night, partying, going crazy. We were doing parties. We were meeting fans. It was the most crazy. I don't think we'll see that ever again, because now everything is digital. Yeah. But I hope they bring back that sort of thing. I like the idea of going in to wait online and pick something up, and,
Me too.
And it's very nostalgic. But we were there, all the developers, the entire New York studio, our team was out walking around the GameStops and Best Buys, and there was lines for miles, and we were partying and drinking and hanging out with the fans. And then me, Ned, and Solo and Steve were hanging out at the bar and doing
Oh my God. I got some goosebumps now, bro.
It was crazy. Dude, Rockstar, I don't know if it's probably public, but Rockstar rented out a cathedral, one of the biggest cathedrals and churches in New York City, and put a symphony in it and played music in it. And it was on the launch day. I'm pretty sure it was the same night of the launch. And only you had to have special access to get in, and security was always very tight.
Like a launch party?
Rockstar did a launch city party. There was parties everywhere. It was crazy. Yeah. And that went on for a while. I mean, they really did it right. I give them a lot of credit for that. They always knew how to throw a party.
This is crazy, bro. And how was your relation with the boss, Sam House and Daniel House?
It was good. I was probably closer to Sam, because we would see Sam every day, and Sam would always walk by and, yeah, Rubino, hey, yeah. They put a lot of faith and trust in my my group, the group that I was with, and we were very important. You know, Rod Edge as well. Like, shout out to Rod, shout out to Sam, shout out to Dan, I think Dan's actually by me now at another studio. But back then, Rockstar was really like Rockstar. Yeah. Like today, Rockstar is a different thing.
It's like a company.
It's mature. It was a company then, but it was a little more like the Wild West. You know, that was a good thing and a bad thing. But like right now, you know, Rockstar's matured a lot. It's gotten more serious, and you know, they're definitely more I don't know how to really put it, but when we were there, it was a different animal completely. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, we were working, sleeping at the office, sleeping at the stage, you know, working on holidays, on even Thanksgiving and Christmas, which I had to do because we had very important deliveries. And you know what? When you're a rock star and you care, you want to get that thing out and you make it the best you can. And we were happy to do that. You know, I think what has happened is a lot of people have come out and they said that, you know, like the game world, and I'm not calling out any single studio, this is just what happens, but there is moments that you work hard and you want to get a thing done in time, you know, and it's sometimes it's not what they ask of you, it's what you ask of yourself, right? And you want to show that commitment. And so sure, some studios are very heavy-handed and say you have to work these days, but let me tell you firsthand, I put in my work because I wanted to. Yeah. Not because someone told me to. Nobody told me shit. Like, I did whatever the fuck I wanted anyway there. Like,
that's cool, man.
Within reason, you know, because I got my shit done, you know, and I did good stuff. And so you show up and you put in that work because you want to, and you care about the product because we're all crazy about it. We were like, of course we're going to make the best thing ever. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people don't say that side of the story. And trust me, I'm guilty of both sides of it because I put in too much work where it bit me in the ass, you know, and I lost friends, relationships, and some even worse at times. But like, it's a two-way street in this world. Yeah. If you're going to get into game development or entertainment or technology, you better be willing to put in that fucking work. Yeah. And you better not blame someone else because you signed up for it. Like, that's bullshit. But it's getting a lot better. You know, my teams, I develop tech now with my groups that help automate some of the stuff that's very time consuming. So we use technology so people could go home early. Like, I want to give time back to people. I do that. I develop tech to say, hey, let's take the day-to-day shit that is like not artistic and not creative and very technical. Let's automate all of it. Let's automate all that stuff. Yeah. So you can focus on what you were hired for. Yeah. And so you don't have to wait to 12 p.m. and hit a button because the thing is done for you to hit a button. No, let the button do the button stuff, you know? Yeah.
And you have more time to focus on the creative part, you know, the creative part.
Exactly. And that's a lot of what this team is doing for me right now, and they're doing for themselves and other studios. Let's take the AI and do that stuff.
Let's talk about your next project, because we are here talking about GTA because my channel is focused on this, but
sure,
you worked on Forza, you worked on a lot of other projects. You have your own companies. I don't know how can you make all these things at the same time, because this is crazy, man. So just to finish that part of the games, can you please give us some spoiler about your future projects?
Yeah, I can talk about a couple. So I got 3 games that are coming out, and one in pre-production right now that I'm doing. The one I'm doing right now is, I'll say this, it's going to be the killer of maybe the most popular game in the world right now. Really? And it's gonna dethrone that game. That's our goal. And I can't tell you what it is, and I can't tell you who it's with. So I leave that. You can go speculate on that. Okay. The other one that
you know that the internet will speculate a lot about this, you know.
Hey man, it's all good, man. It's all good. The other one is I have the Outer Worlds 2 that I put a lot of love into that game. That was dope. Shout out Obsidian. Shout out Xbox. I was with Xbox 4 years or more than that, I think. So that's going to come out sometime, maybe next year. I don't even know. Like, you got to talk to those guys. If you want to bother them, bother them. But we did some sick stuff on that. Like, cool shit. That comes out. And then I have 2 other ones. One is probably a very famous adventure game that I can't talk about. And then another one is I can't say anything about, but those are from the same studio.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
you can talk about the genre, about the game, or no?
No, I can't.
Okay.
No, top secret, man. You get.
But I know that you in the biggest projects of the game.
Yes, they're the biggest.
I know.
Projects, biggest. Yeah.
This is crazy, man. This is crazy. So
it's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah.
Bro, this is insane. I know, because you made a lot of things that we don't have much time to talk about all this. Maybe in the future we can make another interview to talk more about. But bro, I love the work that you made on GTA 5. You know, I think everybody love. But bro, our Red Dead Redemption 2, this game deserve an Oscar. You know.
Yeah, it's sick.
Because when we are talking about the mix, about the audiovisual and the video games scene, I think the Red Dead Redemption 2 is the brilliant model of this project, you know, because I truly feel like I'm playing a movie, you know. Mm-hmm. And I think that the work that you and your team done at this game is a great part of it, you know, that feeling that we are playing a movie. And the most realistic thing that I played all my life, I think in 2018 Red Dead Redemption 2 deserved the GOAT, you know, the game of the year.
Yeah.
So I think that you and your team deserve an Oscar about the Red Dead Redemption 2, because this is crazy. I'm so excited to saw the next projects of the Rockstar Games, because I think that we hope that they bring us something better. But it's hard to be better than Red Dead Redemption 2, because I think this game is a piece of art, you know?
It totally is. And, you know, that game is massive. People worked on that game for so long. You know, I was on that game a couple of years, at least 2-3 years. I don't even remember. But, you know, that game was made and remade and made a third time. I mean, there was so much reworking of that game and remastering it. And sometimes you have to do that to get the result. But you're absolutely right. I use Red Dead 2 when I go to my studios what I do is I'm kind of an expert at like starting a project up and getting the vision. And because the most important part of any project in games or even film or TV is pre-production. Like, what are we making, right? And so we really use that as a model now. And I use that as a model for, you know, when we want to make a cinematic game. And there's no such thing as, right now in my world, I don't call anything as cinematic. I say, let's make the whole game cinematic. That means when I am walking around the universe, or I'm in combat, or I'm in a cutscene, or I'm literally exploration, I want to always feel that the world is immersive and cinematic, and the tone and the ambience is all flowing together. And I think Red Dead is probably one of the best that done that. And so when I go make games now, we use that as a reference point. And, you know, to be fair though, it takes thousands of people. It takes hundreds of millions of dollars, and it takes many, many years to reach that goal. But I think what's important to understand now is it doesn't always have to be that way. What happens over time is you refine technology, you refine a process, your people get better, your people work better together, right? And you keep those core teams as together as you can. Because then they can go make that over and over again, right? Over time.
You remember how many people worked on the stage at the GTA 5 and Red Dead?
Oh, at the stage?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. Like, I think we broke the actor record of how many actors we had. I think Red Dead 2 was the record for that. Yeah. I'm sure there's games that beat that now, maybe, but we broke the record. We created some issues with the unions for that project. I remember that. I know because I'm very close now with the unions, SAG and AFTRA, the people that sit on all those casting companies now, the agencies. And then the amount of people on stage. All right, so the amount of people that actually worked in that project is probably like 2,000 or something. You know, there was teams in India, teams in the UK, there was teams in San Diego, New York City, Massachusetts, Toronto, you know, all of the Rockstar satellite studios were working on that project.
I read that just for the NPC models, they hired about 100 actors to make the
Yeah, I would say probably more than that. I would say more than that.
Crazy, man. And
We're
what's
talking
the
hundreds or thousands.
what do you think that's the main difference about between the productions of GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2? Because it's very different kind of game, you know, and the technology. I don't know. There are difference between them.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Rage engine is always an evolution of the last game. So Max Payne became the GTA engine, you know, and evolved to that in a way. You know, it was a combination of GTA 4 and Max Payne. That became GTA 5 engine. That became Red Dead 2 engine, right? They evolve, right? And the thing about the engine for Rockstar, it's a widget-based engine. So, and that could be true today. I don't know. I don't use that engine for any of my projects because that's just a Rockstar tool. But they have a proprietary engine that is designed for exceptional open world building and projects, right? And they have really, really great people that focus on that. And so the difference when you talk about a difference, there's two differences. It's a creative vision of what you're making, and it's the technology you're building it with, right? That change. And so that is the two core differences. And but like a lot of these teams were overlapping, a lot of them, and at some point rolled over to almost exclusively from one to the other. And that's how most studios do that at that large scale. Nobody's really a product of like, hey, we're gonna try to rewrite an engine every single game. Sometimes you get caught doing that, and it's very expensive, very time consuming, and actually it sucks for the people like me and my teams that have to use it because you're constantly relearning things, and that's really hard to do. So instead of doing everything from the bottom up, you build on top and you refine and you make better. And at some point, it does get to a point where you do have to kind of break it and start over. That does happen. You know, I've built a few engines now myself, proprietary engines.
That's cool,
well,
man.
I'm not the builder of it. I come in and I do a lot of the cinematic pipeline, some of the in-game stuff, the conversation systems, characters, cameras, depth of field, lighting. I'm an architect of a lot of those things with the engineers and the tech art team.
That's cool. And in the future, will you sell it to the gaming industry to made?
We'll sell this. What I'm doing some of that with these guys, but like the problem is Santa Play is when I make stuff, it's for those studios that I'm either working with or I work for. So I don't take things away because that's kind of like a breach of trust. Like we don't do stuff like that. That's theirs. They have it. It's awesome. I could put my signature on it, but there's also many signatures on it, if that makes sense.
Right. So let's talk about your other projects, because I read that you work on several other projects involving AI, crypto games, and much more. So can you tell us about it, please?
Yeah. So I have a couple companies that are in games and also not related to games, and I also advise for. One of them is in Malaysia. They're called Glow, and they're a servicing company, and they're incredible. We're doing a project right now that's really, really dope, and they just announced that they're coming into the United States and Canada, so more AAA stuff for them. If you don't know them, you probably should. They're going to be very, very well known soon. And that's Glow Production in Malaysia. And then the other one is Yume. They are an AI company that services pipelines and creates pipelines using artificial intelligence and neural networks. And they're replacing motion capture with AI. And AI can be kind of a bad term, but it's not for this case. You know, they basically are using neural networks to make the character pipeline faster, make the motion capture pipeline faster, and all the other things, cinematics, gameplay. So they're really cool. I also have an agency called Dream Agency, which is works with different companies and game companies on public relations, creative, websites, influencers.
Influencers too?
Yeah.
So let's make a deal, bro.
We can do that.
That's crazy. Imagine have a Brazilian influencer. You know?
Hey man, we would love that. We should talk about that. But shout out to my wife, which I just got married. She handles that. Bro. Thank you. I don't have enough fucking time. I got so much shit going on. She handles that. I'm just a a silent partner. We also have a tequila that we're shareholders of.
Yeah, Gran Diamante.
Blowing up. Gran Diamante. We got to bring it down to Brazil.
Please. We love tequilas here in Brazil, bro.
Really? Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, we'll get you some.
Please.
Can I ship down to Brazil? I got to look into that.
Okay.
We'll figure something out.
I think
Where are you?
I'm near São Paulo, you know? Near the city of São Paulo. 80 I think it's 40 miles of São Paulo.
What's the name of the city?
Santos.
Santos, okay.
Yeah,
Santos?
Is equal Santos. It's a big city, you know? One of the biggest ports in Brazil is here on my city, you know?
That's cool, man.
That's
really cool.
I'd love to visit. When you return to Brazil, come meet my city. You will love it.
Oh, sure. Yeah. We'll make it happen. I'll bring some tequila.
For sure.
You know, you get the food though. Okay. You take me to all the spots. I want to do the, churrascaria. I want my chocolate pizza. Okay.
Perfect.
Pizza.
I'll
be very cranky if I don't have chocolate pizza in Brazil.
I will bring to you the best chocolate pizza in Brazil. For sure.
Hey, I remember a song, Amor de Chocolate. Remember that song?
Amor de Chocolate, Naldo.
Naldo, I met Naldo.
Really?
Naldo, we hung out at a restaurant.
Oh my God!
When Will Smith was there, I was there, and Naldo was at a churrascaria, and we were hanging out. And I also Gustavo Lima.
Yeah,
Gustavo Lima. I know him.
He's one of the great musicians here in Brazil. This is crazy that you mentioned that because Naldo here in Brazil, he's so famous, and there are meme with Naldo because he made a lot of interviews, told to the public that he's friend of Chris Brown, LeBron James, and it's true. He have the pictures to prove that. And many years in the past, Chris Brown will post a picture of Naldo on his Instagram. So many people in Brazil believe this is a lie, you know? And he knows like a big liar in Brazil, but he's telling the truth, bro.
Is he still famous now?
Yeah, he's famous. He's still famous in Brazil.
Does he do music still?
Yeah.
Okay,
now
cool.
He's more famous about his like a character, a persona, you know? He's so famous he is here, but he's still playing music and he's very famous in Brazil. And it's cool that you mentioned that because the people you make you laugh about this because this is crazy, man.
I'll try to find the picture of me and Naldo.
Please, if you find this, send me to put it on the
I will send it to you. I'll send it to you.
So, bro, I saw that you and Zebra and Zampella are working on many projects. I don't know if it's something related to Netflix. Can you give us a spoiler about?
Yeah, so Blast Crew is a new universe that we've built. It's me, Brian Zampella, and a few other people, and potentially a couple of networks that I won't talk about, and production companies are also getting involved. This has been a passion project of mine personally. Me and Brian Zampella created this universe, and this is something that we started in 2017, and it kind of forced us. We were not going to come out and talk about it, but what happened was Brian Zampella was those leaks came out, and I still don't even know what they were, but it kind of forced Brian Zampella to sort of kind of come out from the shadow. And we were like, what are we going to do with Blast Crew? How do we capitalize on this? And so it forced us to kind of come out early with a lot of the Blast Crew stuff, and it wasn't really ready. But we've been in production with pre-production for a long time. There's multiple layers to that. So what is Blast Crew? Blast Crew is a multimedia universe. I mean, there's a film, there's a TV show, there's a gaming element. There's going to be all sorts of cool stuff, merchandise, graphic novels. But what is it? For many years, I wanted to take film and video games and bring them together. And what do I mean by that is interactive television and filmmaking. Where you are the fifth person of a crew of the Blast Crew, and you're an active participant in the story. I won't go too much further than that, but the one of the main goals is we saw that there was a gap that our favorite TV and film actors and our favorite video game actors and characters never had a place to work together in sort of this hybrid sort of model. And so when we started Blast Crew, our goal was to bring those worlds together. Where do you have your favorite TV stars and video game actors on the same screen? You know, we don't really see that. So
yeah,
that's what we're doing. We got a lot of big names attached. We're really excited about it. You know, but as everything in this world, it takes a long time. And so we've been putting out a little bit of teasers, but I'll be honest, it's all fun. Blast Crew is really something bigger and different. But we just had our writers room last week. We do 2 writers rooms a week with the creative team. And the film, which is called Project Triangle, which is the code name, it's pretty much there. And so we're actually gonna have a table read. And I'll tell you, some people, we're bringing Roger Clark from Red Dead. We're bringing some people from Uncharted.
This is crazy, man.
We got people from Entourage, hopefully. We're still working on that. We got people from other famous films. We have Ned and Luke and Solo from GTA 5. And they're not playing, by the way, they're not playing characters from those projects. They're playing different characters in this world, you know.
Perfect.
But you know, they are themselves. Like you'll get a little of that flavor probably from everything, but it's its own universe and it's its own thing, and it's gonna be the next. We hope it's the next big thing. You know, it's a passion project. At some point, I'm gonna go full steam and full time just on that, and walk away from all my other stuff in the future, and maybe not that far away. But we're getting close. We're gonna have some sit downs with different large networks and figure out, because there needs to be some new technology that they need to make this work, which some of it doesn't exist yet. So we also have to make this new technology, and
this is crazy.
But it's dope. It's super dope. I'll tell you, here's the characters. Bobo, Z, we have Sparkles, we have Bobby, we have Jeff Ranchero,
yeah,
Mr. Jimmy Jenkins, which is, people are gonna love Jimmy Jenkins, and a bunch of really amazing characters that are gonna be played by your favorite either film or TV or video game stars.
Right.
And we think we're the first project to do this.
That's crazy. That's huge, bro. And if you need a Brazilian YouTuber actor, please get in touch.
We'll
right?
get you in. So that's dude. The whole thing about this is the fan base is going to be part of the film. So we're going to interact with the fan base, and they're going to vote for things. We're going to bring them into the show. We're going to beat them up probably in some of the episodes. We're going to also have meetups where the actors are playing their actual characters. So something a little different. So imagine going to like a Comic-Con, and instead of the actors sitting and signing autographs, they're playing the actual characters the whole time. They never break character. So we're doing stuff a little bit different. You know, we're going to show up to events with some of the stars. We're going to have some collaborations that are really, really cool. And but again, it's a passion project. None of this is finished yet. It's going to take a while. I tell everybody, just hold tight. You know, these things take a while to make. Yeah. But it is coming, and we're going to slowly put out stuff more and more.
Bro, you always check on the medias, the social network. Yeah. I will put here on the screen the links, the subtitles to the people access and following. And every time that we have a news about it, the public will know too, right?
Sure. Yes, of course. But the thing is, just like your favorite big games and studios and films, they have to remain quiet until they are ready. And we're going to be doing the same thing. The stuff that we put out is for fun, you know, right now. Yeah. It's just for fun. We're having some fun with it. We're a little bit tongue in cheek. We're kind of making fun of a few things, but that is just for us for our own enjoyment, actually.
But I think that this is the perfect point, because the public love that relation, you know, and I think it's a great thing that helped Brian Zampella to become so beloved to the community, you know.
Yeah. You know, Brian Zampella, he doesn't talk about a lot of stuff, but Brian Zampella is now like, and he's been in Westworld and a lot of big things. but he was just in a big movie a few months ago out in LA. I hope he talks about it soon. And then he also, a lot of people don't know this, but Brian Zampella is a secret private investigator.
Really?
Yeah, and he works on big top secret missions. And what we do is we take those missions and we change some of the names and we put them into the Blast Crew. And so there's real missions and heists and all this stuff that are actually from some real stuff. And Brian was a decorated... Yeah, and Brian was a decorated undercover NYPD in New York City.
Right.
And for a long time ago. And actually, Brian Zampella and Ned Luke worked with the FBI recently to find out who the people that are swatting Ned Luke.
Really?
So Brian Zampella is the one that was on the case for Ned, and people don't know that.
This is crazy, bro.
How do you like that? And that's top secret. Nobody knows, and now everybody knows, I guess. But
exclusive.
There you go.
Exclusive.
Exclusive, baby.
Exclusive, baby. You know, keep me blasting.
Keep blasting.
And tell us, please, how can we do to be part of Blast Crew?
Yeah, so I think the thing with Blast Crew is we want everybody to kind of come in and have an open mind and understand this is a new thing. Look, I've worked on some dope stuff with a lot of studios, you know, and so is Z, and we're coming together, but we want to bring you all into this. So we want to hear your ideas. We're going to share with you ideas and you can vote on which direction things go in. You know, we're going to do all sorts of stuff. And actually, when you're watching or playing, you're going to interact with the content. So like, be ready for that. I would say have an open mind and support us, because we need you and we need the fans to ask more about it, because this is going to help us with our networks. The problem with a guy like me and a guy like Zampella, when we show up to Netflix and we show up to Warner Brothers and all these studios that may have an interest, you know, they want to take things away from us and they want to take over some of the ideas and change them. What we need is the audience, and we need the fan base to say, fuck that, we want it this way. Give those guys what they need so that they can make the things that we want to be a part of and we want to watch and interact with and be entertained by, because there's going to be a game about this. There's going to be TV. There's going to be a show. There's going to be graphic novels. There's going to be meetups. There's going to be Comic-Cons with all these amazing people.
Yeah.
This is going to be a new universe that people are going to love, but we need the fans to get behind us. We need the fans to start supporting it and asking about it and bothering all these networks and work with us, because we're stronger together. And we hear all of you. I get it. I mean, I'm telling you, man, the last year's been crazy because I got messages and this and that. And I'm like, what is happening? But like, I hear you. Trust me, I try to respond to everybody. Guys, we're working on stuff. I promise you, you're going to love it. Just give us some time and support it. And that's all I could say.
I think this is crazy, but if this don't happen, the Brazilian public don't know Brian Zampella, don't know Blast Crew, and I think the Brazilian people know your job, know the projects that you work at, but they don't know the people, you know, behind the project. And I think that's kind of interview is cool for that, to show the public that you are a normal person. You are a beast, you know? But you are a person, a normal person, and everybody that dedicate yourself and study and practice can reach that point, you know? So
well said. I agree. I think that hard work, perseverance, you have to want it more than anybody.
Yeah.
But you know what it is? You got to have fun, man, you know, and not take yourself too serious. You know, once I started like that mindset, then I became more successful. Then I started doing great stuff, and I met, you know, an amazing partner. She's my second half. You know, she makes me better than I am by myself, and great family and friends, and you know, studios that I worked with that I cherish, and those relationships are a part of me. You know, my success and my failure are a part of me, but it's also a part of all of the projects I make. And I'll tell you this, Play, I'm just getting started. So.
For sure.
What the future holds is going to be better than what the past did. And nobody's ready for what's coming. I promise you that. Like, when I say no one's ready, no one's ready.
I believe that because I saw what you made, and I know I know your job, I know your work, and I believe that if you made that in the past, you have that vision. I know that what will happen will be better for sure.
Yeah. Yes,
So
sir. Yes,
I hope that we work on some projects in the future. I don't know, because I'm a huge fan of your work, and I'm so happy because about this interview that you have time to talk with me. So that's it, bro.
One thing.
Thank you so much.
One thing. I did forget one thing, and I want to give a gift to your fans.
All right.
I want to give you guys a gift. I'm going to be announcing something soon.
Okay.
And releasing a new cryptocurrency meme project that may have some game elements and some other stuff that we're working on secretly. And I'd like to do this. I want to give 1,000 of your fans this token.
1,000?
1,000 of them.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Let's make it a contest. Let's figure out a way to do this. So
Perfect.
Let's work together.
Okay.
To figure this out, and we'll reward your community. And if they want to sell it, if they want to do stuff with it, I don't care. They make some money. They want to have fun with it. They can come into the project, but it's going to be another long-term project, a little fun thing that we're going to make because crypto's blowing up, and we want people to have fun and make some money. But there's no guarantees. We don't know what the hell's going to happen, and it's not even out yet. But look around mid-July. But we're going to talk privately and make sure that your fans we can figure out a way for 1,000 to somehow enter into this raffle, or I don't know. Let's think about it, but that's my gift to you guys. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys this basically free money.
Thank you so much, bro. I'm so happy about this.
You got it.
So this is it, bro. Thank you so much for your time, for the patience, because I don't speak in English very well. I can understand perfect how you say, but I can speak so good, but I'm trying, all right? And thank you so much for your time. I'm so happy about this interview because this is crazy. It's a dream come true, all right? And that's it, bro. Thank you so much. If you want to say something to the public, that's the moment, all right?
I just want to say thank you to you and your audience, and you never give up. You keep fighting. You fight for what you believe in. Keep creating. Every goal is possible within reason, and I'm really blessed and thankful to be here. And I look forward to the future and doing this again with you. And thank you again.
Thank you so much,
Obrigado.
Joe.
Obrigado.
Muito obrigado. And when you return to Brazil, please hit me up, all right?
You got it. I'm gonna come. I'm coming soon. Maybe next year.
Thank you, Joey.
Peace out.
Keep blasting.
Keep blasting.
Yeah.
Peace.
Thank you, bro. Peace.